Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Avengers and Spider-Man finally coming to the PlayStation. So this DLC that just recently came out, everybody was kind of hyped for on the PlayStation side, but comes to find out there's no actually story gameplay. It's all going to be in like audio logs and junk like that. So there's not actually going to be any gameplay for this. It's just, I don't know. It feels kind of like a slap in the face, right? I mean, I wouldn't have got it anyway because I don't have this game on PlayStation. I have it on Game Pass, Xbox, and most recently it came out free to play on Game Pass. So unfortunately, I paid for it a while back, but I got it on sale for like $20 or something stupid like that. I should have known when it was going $20 it'd eventually go free to play, but so basically, the new one's supposed to be, it's the story's told through audio logs and illustrated cutscenes. So they're basically unlocked by doing challenges within the game. That's been added to the regular Avengers Initiative multiplayer, I should say. It unfolds the storyline of Spider-Man uncovering AIM's new plan to upgrade their synthoid army. So I don't know. It seems really, really screwed up because back in back in September, Game Rant had an article that came out where head of Crystal Dynamics had roadmapped this was coming out, but basically said that there was going to be story content to it, which kind of seems like the way the article was written, they really danced around this. There is story content, but it's not playable game. It's just have some audio logs, have some illustrated cutscenes. It seems like they were really disgenuine on this DLC. You know, I mean, I guess that's part of what happens when you have a single-sided DLC where you can't release it on the other side. You have to figure out how to isolate it, you know, where it's not too OP for one side versus the other. I don't know. I feel like this is very disgenuine of Crystal Dynamics to do this after basically saying back in September to Game Rant that they're going to have some of this. Nick, what do you think, man, after hearing this and after this? I mean, I don't think you were planning on getting it anyway because you're on the Xbox like I am, but what are your thoughts behind this?
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking with it. I mean, because from my understanding is Hawkeye and Cape and Black Panther had story content where you could play through storied missions with those particular characters, which are the DLC characters that came out before Spider-Man's coming out. I can understand. I get why they did it because, like you said, it's only coming to one console. So to make it kind of be like, oh, well, they're not getting that much. They're just getting Spider-Man and that's it. Right. We'll just make the story through audio logs and illustrated cutscenes. But it's like, then why even do it in the first place? It's almost like, because they announced that, I think, before the game even came out, like during E3 when they showed off the title a long while back. And so it's like, why hype up this thing or why take the deal with Sony to say, okay, we're going to have Spider-Man in there? You know, it's almost like Crystal Dynamics or Square Enix or whoever pretty much just took the money without really thinking it through. You know, it's like, oh, wait, when this comes, we're going to be kind of one-sided here, you know, or they could have, you know, what they could have done is they could have talked to Microsoft about some sort of exclusive deal over there with a character, right? Where a character gets introduced at the same time on both systems. They both have their own story content. You know, one's Spider-Man, one's whatever, I don't know, Wolverine or something. Like throw a person in there, right? And then, you know, at least it would suck for either console, but at least either console would be equal in the minds of Crystal Dynamics. I feel like in their mind, they feel like the PlayStation's kind of getting this exclusive content and they can't make it equal between both sides. So they're just going to throw Spider-Man in as being an extra downloadable character and just throw in some like story details through audio logs and crap like that. It just feels like my whole thing is, why even do it at this point? Like, for one, Avengers should just be shut down and taken offline because I don't know if anybody plays that game anymore. I think the last time I looked at it, and this was a while back, like on Steam, there was 20 people playing it or something like that. So it doesn't, I think the player base has probably died out or is dwindling quite fast. I don't know what the player count looks like nowadays, but I'm sure it's not high. It'll probably get a little bit of a boost when Spider-Man comes out, but then it'll just dwindle out again, I would imagine. So I don't know. I think they need to put this game to bed and move on to something else, you know. That's what I'm thinking. You know, they're doing these Marvel games, Square Enix's, and they did great with Guardians. Like, do more of that. Get rid of this Avengers crap. Just kill that thing off. Let Crystal Dynamics go back to Tomb Raider and start doing more of the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff that you did with that franchise. So, what do you think, Shane?
All right. So, screw 'em. I hope it bombs because they're lied. They lied. I mean, that's all it is. They held up an apple and they shoved a lemon up your ass. I mean, it was just a lie. It's there's
lemony freshness.
Exactly. It's a scam that they pulled on the people. And I don't think they wanted to. I think Nick is exactly right. They didn't quite do the math. They didn't quite figure things through when they, made this BS deal with Sony. And they boned themselves. But my biggest problem is, this was announced over a year ago, damn near a year and a half, because the game released in August, and the Spider-Man DLC announcement was at the E3 prior, or was the E3 prior to that one in 19? I don't know. Maybe Pat could double check me on that. So there has been plenty of time to do more than this, in my opinion. I mean, they could have fixed a whole bunch of things instead of giving out Hawkeye and Black Panther DLC. They should have just been fixing a game and making it good. And the whole Spider-Man fiasco is literally a fiasco. They said we're going to get exclusive Spider-Man DLC on PS5. Well, you're not really getting DLC. You're getting a skin who can swing, because that's about all you're going to freaking do. And I mean, who's going to do the voice? Johnny Knoxville? Yeah, there's a teenager we can use. I mean, it's freaking stupid. It's a scam they pulled out on people. And Nick, you were talking about the player count. For the last 30 days, the peak player count was 977. Average players was 472. So yeah, and you know what? They deserve it. They put out a bad game. They put out a bad game with a lot of bad faith to the gamers, and they made a lot of bad deals. This game should and could have been so much better. Guardians of the Galaxy is proof that a Marvel game can be done amazing. Spider-Man, Marvel game can be done amazing. I mean, this game and the DLC characters and the whole Spider-Man thing it's a joke. It just pisses me off, because it really does feel like we were robbed just on a DLC for Sony alone, and then the DLC that they're getting isn't really anything but a skin that can swing. That's it. And it's heartbreaking. It really makes me dislike Crystal Dynamics, and I've been a huge fan forever. So I don't know. What about you, Pat?
So first of all, I found the Game Rant article I was looking for. So I'm going to read the little excerpt from you. September of this year. So we're talking just months ago, like 2 months ago. So according to Crystal Dynamics senior producer Dan Matlack on the official Marvel Avengers Discord server, the Spider-Man content is classified by the company as an event, and as a result will have its own cutscenes and story content. This comes as a relief to fans, as many worried that because Spider-Man is going to be a PlayStation exclusive character, he might not get the same amount of content as other DLC additions in the game. Well, Matlack, you basically misled the people who are playing your game, because you made it sound like they were going to be just like every other character. He did throw in it's an event, so he CYA'd himself there. But basically, he misled the fans who were hanging on that we're going to get a Spider-Man DLC with his own storyline and content. No, you got, exactly as Shane said, a new set of tights and a guy who can swing from a rope. And yeah, and I feel that it was a dirty, underhanded tactic for the PlayStation people. Even though I was bitter that PlayStation was the only one that got it, This is a slight to the PlayStation fans, in my opinion, because it's not a character. It's a skin.
No,
you might as well just say it's a dang
just
skin.
Real quick, Pat. You said he misled. No, that shit was straight up lies. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It was a straight up lie.
They did get cutscenes and story content. You just got to find all the audio logs and get all the cutscenes from that. So there's story content. You don't get no story missions. You get story content in the lack of audio logs. So he CYA'd himself right there. And that's a dirty, underhanded tactic. And Crystal Dynamics should be ashamed of themselves. It should be, they should be throwing Dan Matlack under the bus and backing it back over on top of him and kicking him out the door for misleading fans that way.
And whoever signed that damn exclusivity with Sony.
Right.
And Sony fans, and we all have them. We love Sony too, even though they're a crap company anymore. You all should be up in arms, raising hell. All the fanboys should be like, no. You don't get a sandpaper dildo, this guy. No, I want my money back. That's what I'd be telling them.
Yeah, it's bad. And it sounds like it's been this way for a while, because in the IGN article that Nick had shared with us earlier about the no DLC story missions, the Avengers gameplay director, Philip E. Theron, explained that why Crystal Dynamics chose this direction. We wanted to spend our efforts on content that everyone can enjoy. So we chose to spend a lot of our energy on the claw raid that's coming up at the same time. Reality, that's a simple decision for us. Spider-Man can play all the content, but when we release a piece of content that's good on all platforms, really that was a decision that's been that way since the beginning included. So basically they misled the people on PlayStation to say, we're going to give you this cool new thing exclusive to just PlayStation, when really he's nothing. He has nothing. I kind of want to see what his abilities are like. Is his abilities just a generic offshoot of somebody else who's already in the game? Or does he have he's got to have his own named abilities, but how different are they than, say, somebody that already exists in the game? It's
going to be Hawkeye instead of an arrow. It's going to be a load of webbing.
I was just thinking it was going to be more like Black Panther, just skinned Spider-Man, and he can swing by a web and the same basic abilities. Because Black Panther is, he's ground runner. He's a fighter. So that's what Spider-Man's going to be. So instead of having like a claw, Spider-Man's going to have like a punch, or something stupid, So, I don't know. It seems very shady to me, but we said it was kind of shady in the beginning when they were talking about releasing only this content for PlayStation. So PlayStation fans, in my opinion, if you're not incensed by this, you should be, because this to me seems like they put the wool over your eyes. They placated you long enough to get this out. And then they're like, oh, it's always been our plan. There's not going to be anything special about him, even though they basically misdirected you. They blew smoke up your ass, smoke and mirrors. There's a reason why there's only 400 concurrent players on average with this game, because it's just a big giant turd. We tried to play it during the beta. It didn't even catch us. We weren't all like, because we all said we weren't going to buy the game when it initially released for $70 or $60, whatever it was, because of the exclusivity deal. So, we all bought it. I think we even bought it. Has it been 2 months ago when we bought this game for $20 because we wanted to play together for one night?
No, it's been longer than that. But
has it been?
I don't think it was even 20. I want to say it was like 13 or something on a big sale.
But now it's on Game Pass, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So,
matter of fact, I think it was, if you look up the time frame it hit Game Pass, I think it was like 2 months before that.
So we really got swindled there.
Yeah.
And we only played it one night. So it couldn't even though we paid for it, we still couldn't even play it multiple nights.
We did play it 2 nights. The second night we played it was because we were just goofing around waiting for one of us to show up. I think it was Russ we were waiting on. And I was like, well, let's do this. It sucks, but, at least we can do something till Russ gets here or some crap.
All right. So it sounds like I said, big smoke and mirrors campaign by Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix. I mean, come on, guys. You should know your fan base better than that. They're not going to be happy with this. Spider-Man fans are probably PO'd, because they can't then get any story content. Uncle Ben died for nothing.
Oh, no, too soon. Too soon.
PlayStation killed Uncle Ben and didn't even give him a story.
Damn it, May better be hot in this one now. Should probably be 15.
She probably won't even be in it.
You'll hear her voice because you get those audio logs, and then some hand-drawn illustration thing. I don't know what it is like storyboarding.
Peter, use your tingle, Peter. Your Peter tingle.
So I don't know. I mean, it's shady dealings, and you guys should be ashamed of yourself.
Big time.
You're gonna lose your 400 only players.
You'll have that one guy. You'll have that one guy that's like, "Nah, I pay for this shit."
I wonder how many of those players are PlayStation players that are on the average playlist.
Was that across platforms, or was that just for Steam, or what was that?
I don't know. It was just a quick grab. It was Steam, concurrent Steam players.
Users.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, still for Steam, that's very low. I mean, you know, and then for PlayStation and Xbox, I'm sure it's probably around the same amount, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it looks like it's been slowly going down. Like, you know, so actually Steam posted their numbers. So it looks like in September 2020, it looks like when this game released, they had 7,000 concurrent players. The very next month, it went down to 1,430. So a loss of 6,000 players, and never got back up near that number. It looks like it's been hovering around 800 until January, and then dropped down to 500, then 400, and went back up to 900 when a content release came out. It only ever got back up to 2,000 August of this year. I think that's when they had the Wakanda expansion that came out. But yeah, on Steam, it looks like they've got 472 average. So they've lost about 1,500 since the Wakanda expansion came out. So kind of bad.
It is bad. You know, I will throw this much credit at them. They're still pushing shit out on it. The problem is it is just shit. I mean, they're not really doing what they should.
I don't know why they're pushing. I mean, really, this game should just sink the ship and move on.
Kill it, give out the refunds, and move on.
They're never going to get refunds.
No, but it should have get refunds.
All right, so we're gonna play some Avengers after this, guys. That's what we're gonna do.
Hell no.
All right. Anybody else got anything before we beat this dead horse to death even more?
With great power doesn't come Square Enix and Sony.
Yeah, we're starting to beat that thing so much. All you hear is as we hit it.
Turn to glue.
All right. Anybody got anything else?
No, sir.
All right. All you PlayStation players out there, let us know. Are you happy about this? Are you upset about this? Well, how do you feel? Do you feel like they took advantage of what they told you was going to be in the game? Let us know. You know, comment down there. And then don't forget to like and subscribe so you can keep up to date with the new videos that we post every week. And then make sure you leave us a comment. We always like to hear from everybody, and we try to reply to everybody that we get comments from. So make sure you share that stuff too. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.